Okay, so this is going to be my next model railroad project. I'm going to turn this locomotive into this locomotive. This is a modern coal burning steam engine that I bought on eBay, and it's made by Roundhouse. It's a very good running engine, but it's way too modern for the Virginian truckee. And this is a wood burning steam engine built in 1879, and it's called the Tahoe. So it should be fun to do. Okay, so the first step is to take the tender apart, and I removed the body of it. There it is right there. It's way too big and it has a load of coal on it, which isn't right. Then the good thing is that I have this old one here for the Virginian truckee that I can just use. The trouble is, you'll see, it's a little short. So what I'm going to do is take another one here, and I'm going to cut both of them and then splice it together to make them longer. That's going to be challenging, but fun. Alright, so I sawed the two tender pieces in half with my saw here, razor saw. And then, so here's the two pieces now, so you can see they go right together. And I'll just have to glue them and put a little putty to fill in the cracks. That'll be perfect. So we're doing good. This is the bottom of the tender, and these metal flanges here are too wide for this to fit on, so I have to trim them down. So I'm going to use my moto tool. There we go. See how it fits. There we go. See, that's pretty good. A little dusty. Put that in there. That like that. Then this goes like that. Now you can see how it's going to look. It's coming together pretty good. Okay, so now we're going to remove the decals from the plastic body parts. Hopefully this will work. Yeah, see? Just use this pencil and they come right off. Pretty easy. This wire harness where the decoder is going to connect to is too long, so I cut it off and now I'm resoldering it back together, and it's pretty delicate work. Get these wires to come together just right. Get a little solder. Okay, try it again here. Not quite right. There, I think that's good. Okay, so now I've been installing the decoder. This is the decoder right here, and that's what is going to power the engine. It takes the voltage from the track and converts it into regular DC voltage. It goes into the motor that's up in the front here, and so it's a very delicate task. These are easy to ruin, and they cost about $100 a piece. So I do it one step at a time. So I just connected up the motor and the decoder to the tracks itself. Power comes up through the wheels and into the decoder that way, and then the power goes into the motor. So now we're going to try to read the decoder to see if it's hooked up properly. This is the way to test it so that it doesn't burn it out. Now you might see it's moving a little bit. That's a good sign. That means it's working. And yes, perfect, it read. So now it means it's good. Now we can actually try to run the engine. Let's see if that works. Okay, so the red light's on the decoder. That means it's ready to go. So now we'll just try it. Okay, let's try it. There it goes. Oops. There. It's not very smooth yet. Let's try it forward. There, see? Perfect. So now we're going to do the lights next, and then we'll do sound after that. Now I've hooked up the light circuit. Let's see if we have any luck with that. Here we go. Awesome. On, off. On, off. Forward. Perfect. Okay, we can move on to the sound now. Okay, so now we're ready to do the next test here of the decoder. We're going to test the sound. So I put the speaker in. You can see it right in there. It's very tiny. It just sits right in the bottom of the tender. And now I just flick the power on here. Okay, I don't know if you can hear that or not, but it's working. Let's watch this. There we go. The bell's working. Now we'll try to move it, see if it goes. There it goes. Backwards. So everything's working great. Here comes our new engine around the corner. It's running quite good. Hanging out the back is the Keep Alive capacitor that I added to it. It allows it to go over gaps in the track without stopping, and on dirty track too. So here's our new engine running around the tracks, running pretty good. Okay, now the next step is painting, and I want to match the colors in the drawing here, so I've repainted the boiler this gray color. See how it matches the front gray pretty good? Then I have to do a different color for the rest of it. And painted the cab gray to match the roof, and now I'm going to do this kind of maroony red color for the rest of it. And I'm also going to do the red on the tender at the same time. Now we're making really good progress on the painting. Take a look at this. So there's the cab. Looks pretty good. And then the tender is all done now. Color's a little darker, but I think it looks good. And then the main body locomotive, and you can see I painted the cow catcher. So that looks pretty neat now. Paint job is progressing quite well. I've started to put things back together, so you can see how the paint job, the red and the different shades of gray are all done now, and how it compares with the other painting that we're starting from. So I think it's coming pretty good. It's getting pretty close. But now we have to do the final touches, which will be like the brass and the smokestack and the headlight and some of the other parts. Okay, now we're continuing the painting here. It's going along fine. So what I'm doing now is painting these bands, brass, that go around the boiler. And it's delicate work, but it's made a lot easier by this masking tape that I put on here. So I've got 3 of them done. I have 1 more to do. And the masking tape protects the other paint. So let's go ahead and paint this one. Make sure our paint is mixed. There we go. Doesn't take very much. We don't want it to run underneath the tape. Okay, that looks pretty good. So now I'm going to take this tape off before it dries, because it might seep a little bit. There we go. Looks great. So now you can see how it's starting to shape up as I start to put everything together. I still have a few more parts to go, but it's really starting to look good. So you can see how this looks, and then we'll shift up here, and that's how that looks. So see, it's pretty good. Okay, now, so you can see it's all put together now, and I think it's looking pretty good. So if we look up here a little bit, we can see this picture. And then there's the model. Oops. I think it's captures it pretty well. And we've got everything working now. There it goes. Putting the finishing touches on the locomotive now. Now the next thing that I did is I did this wood load right here and for the tender, and you can see it just comes right off. It's to cover up all the wires and everything. And it used to have coal, now it has wood because it's supposed to be a wood burner. So those are real oak branches from our trees here, and I chopped them up into little pieces and glued them all together. But I think it really looks great. Well, here it is with the decals put on, but not real happy with the way the decals came out. I tried and tried and tried, and it just hasn't been working. So, but I'm going to leave them on for now and enjoy the engine for a while, and then I'll come back to it and fix it up. So I've rethought the whole lettering thing. I took off those old decals and tried press-on lettering, and I'm pretty pleased with the results. I think this is it now. I don't have quite the exact duplicate of the original lettering, but it's very close, and I think it looks really good. So officially, project complete.